What's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about a book that I read recently called Legendborn. So in case you haven't heard of this book, it was very popular like in 2022, 2021, I don't know, but last year a whole bunch of people were talking about it, they were raving about it, talking about Legendborn this, Legendborn that. So I decided to watch it, and let me just say that not watch it, but I decided to read it. Sorry, I'm so used to my dramas. And let me just say that this book was actually amazing. Like, even though when I read Legendborn, I just read it because I thought it was about like this black girl and stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's a girl and she's black. Like, why not dig into this a little bit? And I decided to, and let me tell you that this book was amazing. But let's get right into it. Let me just tell you what it's about. So Legendborn, right? There's this girl, her name is Bree, and her mother, oh yeah, she gets into this whole like fight with her mother. Her mother unfortunately passes away, and she ends up, because she gets, and the reason why she gets into a fight with her mother is because she wants to go to a certain college, and she's actually like 16, so she's like pretty smart. She gets into this early admission college thingy, so she wants to go to like Columbia University or something, and her mom is like really mad about it. She really doesn't want to go, so they get into this whole fight. Her mom passes away, and yeah, so she has a whole bunch of trauma. Her dad has a whole bunch of trauma and stuff like that. But she eventually ends up going to Columbia University, and while she's there she meets this dude, and his name is Nick, and it turns out that Nick is actually part of a whole secret society called the Order. And I don't know the full name. I didn't remember the full name. I know that has like a whole like a large name, the Order of the Round. Oh, I remembered. The Order of the Round Table. That's what it's called. And it's pretty like famous secret society around a campus or whatever. And so she eventually gets sucked into the secret society because she finds out that her mom somehow had something to do with the secret society, and turns out that she's kind of special. And she even before she meets Nick, she meets this other dude called Sulin Kane and his little friend Tor, and she sees them like fighting off monsters and stuff, and she's like, and then he kind of like erases her memory, but she ends up remembering. So she's like kind of curious about this, and she's like, what's up with me? Like, maybe I should go explore this a little bit. And so like she meets Nick, and she gets into a little bit of trouble with a monster, and she gets into a little trouble with a monster. Nick saves her, and again she becomes even more curious. She's like, why does this keep on happening? Like, you're part of that little order too. And because she heard like Sulin and Tor when they were fighting off that monster, she overheard them talking about like Legendborn and like monsters and mesmers and aether and all that stuff. So she used all her knowledge, and she was acting like she knew what she was talking about. When she was talking to Nick, she was like, oh, you're Legendborn, right? I can resist mesmer, blah blah blah, I know what aether is, blah blah blah. So she basically acted like she knows what she was talking about, and she really didn't. But eventually she gets sucked into this whole world of like monsters and magic called Aether, and her mom, and she thinks her mom was murdered, so she's trying to find out who killed her mom. And there's the whole thing going on with her best friend Alice, and Alice is like worried about her because she still has that whole trauma from what happened with her mom. And then she has like a relationship with her dad too that's suffering, because she just needed to, the reason why she moved even after the whole argument with her mom and stuff is because she just like couldn't be in the house anymore, especially with all the memories of her mom and stuff like that. So she left, and we have stuff, of course, because she's black, and the Order is basically a thing for a whole bunch of white men. So she has to deal with that too, a little bit of racism over there. Like there's this one dude who really gets on my nerves. Again, she's also new, so everyone else has been like studying to be like a Legendborn for like a whole bunch of years, and she's kind of new to this whole thing. So of course not everyone's kind of like mad about it, and it turns out that Nick is actually like a really important dude. He's like the heir, and it's just like a whole mess, so she has to deal with lots. So yeah, but basically let me talk about the whole magic part of this. I'm not even sure if I really understand the magic part, but let me still try to give y'all some advice on the whole magic and basically what's going on. So the Order of the Round Table, the reason why it's called the Order of the Round Table because it's basically about King Arthur, right? And you've probably heard of King Arthur. I forgot what TV show or something that I watched. I watched something that had something to do with like King Arthur in a school, and it was on Netflix. It was like a Disney Channel movie or something. Whatever, I forgot. So there's this whole thing, King Arthur, right? You know how King Arthur has his like 12 knights? Yeah, that's basically what it's about. And all of these people are like descendants of King Arthur. King's Arthur, I mean, King's Arthur, what am I saying? King Arthur also had a mage, right? And that mage was called Merlin. So, and Merlin was a king's mage because he was the mage for the king. And so, since he finds out that Nick is like the heir of King Arthur, or the scion of King Arthur, which basically means the heir. But not only the heir, but like the next in line, I guess. But basically, yeah, Eric. He's basically like the heir to King Arthur. His mage is Sulin. Sulin Kane, the dude she met before. And him and Nick aren't really on good terms. They kind of hate each other. But Sulin also ends up hating Bree because Sulin thinks that Bree is a monster in disguise. So he is very suspicious of her at first. He really means her at first, and he just like doesn't trust her at all, especially because Bree and Nick have like a little romance or something going on too. So he's like, that's very weird. You come at this time where we're starting to get a whole bunch of, and they're kind of in like a kind of hard time right now because there's a whole bunch of monsters entering into a whole bunch of gates and stuff. So which makes Sulin even more suspicious of Bree and like thinking that she's the one letting in all the monsters, blah blah. There's a whole attack on Nick and stuff like that. But yeah, it's like a whole mess. A whole bunch of stuff is going on. That's basically what happens. I'm not gonna try to spoil anything too much. I don't know. I just heard people who need a little more detailed stuff to know what's going on. That here you go, now you know. When I went to Legendborn, I did not know anything except for the girl, like the female lead was like the female lead was black, and that's all I knew. So plus the book is pretty big. It's like 40 something pages, but it's pretty good. Like at first when I read it, I was like struggling, but after it became a little easier to read. So trust me, it gets easier to read. If you're thinking about reading Legendborn, read Legendborn. I even just finished Bloodmarked 2 like a few weeks ago. Not even a few weeks ago, like 1 week ago I finished Bloodmarked, and let me tell y'all, I'm so ready for what's that one thing called? Oathborn, whatever the first book is going to, the third book is going to be called. I am ready for it, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm so ready. But I'm so mad that it's coming out in 2025. Like, are you serious? I literally just finished reading Bloodmarked, and now I have to wait a whole like 1.5 year, a whole year for the next book. Like, I never thought I was gonna be experiencing this. But anyways, you guys can suffer with me after you guys finish reading Legendborn. I'm sure y'all gonna want to get your hands on the second Bloodmarked, and then you're gonna have to suffer like me and wait a whole year until the last book. But yeah, go read Legendborn like right now. After that, maybe I might do like a full spoiler review, because even though this sounds like a spoiler review, this isn't like a spoiler review yet. I'm gonna give you all of the tea, everything that I taught while reading that book, every single thing. So make sure you guys go read Legendborn. So yeah, bye.